The newest promotional video of Classroom of the Elite Season 4 is finally released, and after 7 months of waiting, we finally get the official release date of the anime Season 4. While the promotional video didn't give us a lot of new scenes from the animation, at least we got the names of every new character voice actor, including the staff that is responsible for the production. There are a lot of things that feel different in this one promotional video, but since the previous 3 seasons of Classroom Elite cannot really be called a good adaptation, it's only natural that these changes in animation raise some hope for a better adaptation. A change is not always a good thing, but sometimes a change is what we need to turn a new leaf. To summarize the problem that the Classroom Elite anime adaptation had, it usually came from these 3 different aspects, which are animation, pacing, and script. For a series like Classroom Elite, animation is honestly not the best selling point. Since most of the scenes are just people talking to each other or to their own mind, it's fine to have just an ordinary animation, but at least a decent animation that was drawn properly. However, Classroom of the Elite also has a few action scenes that the previous season managed to adapt properly. The fight with the Ryuin gang or the race against Manobu are 2 moments that could be considered the peak of the Classroom Elite anime, and since the material adaptation for Season 4 also has some serious fighting scenes, it will be troublesome if Season 4 fails to adapt it. The previous season had proven that they could make a remarkable episode even if it's only the climax episode, but the new season doesn't show the same promise. The new promotional video already announced the cast of Season 4, and this new season will no longer be directed by the usual Seiji Kishi, but by a new director Noriyuki Nomada. Unfortunately, Noriyuki Nomada doesn't have enough record for us to judge his skill. He had directed several anime episodes, but there is nothing that seems good enough for us to not be worried about Season 4. The designer for Season 4 is also no longer Kazuaki Morita, but the new designer Maki Kano. We have seen the new design for Season 4 in the teaser video, and it honestly doesn't seem bad at all. It's true that the change of director could mean a bad adaptation, but it could also mean a fresh idea and execution. Since what we had so far from the promotional video are probably just parts of the first few episodes, it's hard to judge how the animation quality will be, but there is a single scene from Utomiya and Tsubaki that really piques my interest. This scene that shows Tsubaki and Utomiya talking in a cafe is not a scene that exists in the light novel. This scene is most likely a bonus story from the second-year manga that was published almost 3 months ago, where Tsubaki and Utomiya are talking about Hosen's plan to expel Ayanokoji. Including this bonus scene in Season 4 doesn't seem like a good direction choice, because the previous season always had trouble with skip content, but if we are looking from a different angle, this could be proof of improved pacing. Season 2 and Season 3 adapt the entire 5 volumes and force it into 13 episodes, but if Season 4 only adapts 4 volumes in total, there should be room for an extra scene. If these Tsubaki scenes exist, it could mean that Season 4 will only adapt 4 volumes up until the end of the uninhabited island exam. It might be weird to not adapt volume 4.5, but only adapting 4 volumes would really solve the pacing issue that the previous 2 volumes had. With a new director and a new design for the entire new arc, this kind of change indeed feels like a gamble. It could result in a really good adaptation, but could also ruin the entire series to a level that not even Season 3 managed to do. However, there is nothing wrong with being optimistic, especially since we know Season 4 has been prepared for more than a year. Season 4 is planned to release in April 2026, but we already got the teaser of it in April 2025. If the teaser was already animated back in April, that means they have 1 full year to animate the entire season, so unless they have another project that requires them to hold the production during that 1 year, it should be more than enough to create a good animation for Season 4. Needless to say, a good animation will still become a bad adaptation without a proper direction. Since Season 4 will have the same scriptwriter as Season 3, the director's choice will decide whether this new season will be better or not. Both Season 2 and Season 3 always have trouble with skip content or skip monologue, but if they really improve the pacing by adapting less volume, then I see no reason to not look forward to the new season. And now let's move to the aspect that is no less important, which is the new voice actor who will play the first-year student. As the highest-paying job in the anime industry, the voice actor always becomes the face of an anime, and often decides the success of the anime thanks to their fanbase. However, the new cast of Season 4 doesn't seem to be a really famous voice actor who has played a lot of notable roles. For example, the voice actor for Kazuo Mihosen is Higashira Hiria, who usually voices a big bad guy in a few anime. However, he doesn't have any notable role or a unique voice that made his voice easy to recognize. Even from the promotional video, I think his voice is a bit too old for Hosen, but since Hosen is often described as really big for a first-year student, Higashira's voice could probably suit him. Next we have Sato Momoko as the voice actor of Amasawa Ichika, who has a high-pitched voice that suited a young energetic girl like Ichika. Momoko is considered a newbie in the voice acting industry with less than 20 characters voiced. You probably knew her as the Belno voice actor from Yuma Musume, but other than that, she doesn't have any notable roles. Next we have Yogami Takuya, who is voiced by Tokudoma Shinosuke. He actually has more roles compared to Ichika's voice actor, but his popularity is nothing to brag about. Judging by his voice, he gives Yagami the sound of an ordinary high school boy who is soft and kind. I think it suits Yagami's character, but still there is nothing unique about it. As for Sakurako Tsubaki, she is voiced by Saiki Yori, who I think has better popularity compared to the other three. She is famous for voicing Vanilla in Nekopara, who is a calm and stoic character who is similar to Tsubaki. She also has a few roles with a similar character, so I'm not really worried about her voicing Tsubaki. Judging from the promotional video, she voiced Tsubaki with a low-energy voice that has a sleepy feeling in it, and I think it matches Tsubaki's personality. Next we have Utomiya, who is voiced by Sakata Shugo. He is famous for voicing the main protagonist of Blue Archive the animation, and Hayakawa Aki in Chainsaw Man, and he will also voice Johnny in the Steel Ball Run anime, so it actually surprises me they could get him to voice Utomiya. His reputation alone is enough to prove his capability, but since Utomiya is not really an important character, it seems like a waste of potential to make him voice Utomiya. And the last one is Tsubasa Nanase, who is voiced by Sato Minako. She is not as popular as Sakata Shugo, but still has a few notable roles such as Akane from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. However, judging from the promotional video, I think her voice is a bit too weak for Tsubasa. Her voice sounds soft and low, and I was expecting a stronger and more cheerful voice from her. However, maybe she only sounds like that because of the dialogue that they choose. Since Tsubasa is the most important new character, I really hope they make sure to treat her voice properly. In conclusion, based on the new character voice actor, it's quite hard to set a high expectation for Season 4. Since characters like Kei and Horikita are already voiced by top-tier voice actors, I guess they didn't have that much budget to hire a high-paying voice actor for the first year. However, I don't think the light novel readers really expect a lot from the anime adaptation. Series like Demon Slayer and other action anime have already set a really high standard for the animation industry, so no matter how good Season 4 will be, there will always be an aspect that will be criticized. With the change of director and not so well-known voice actor, Season 4 could become even worse than its predecessor, so it will be way better to just keep a mediocre expectation. After all, the anime was originally just promotional media to attract more readers to the original source, and that's why you just need to enjoy it as a fan service, and call it a day.